Now we will look at supply analysis. In our discussion about market forces, we have considered there are two market forces, demand and supply. We have considered various aspects regarding demand. Now we will look at supply. So what is supply? Supply is the quantity of a particular commodity which a producer or a seller is able and willing to offer in the market at a particular price during the given period of time. Okay, so that is supply. Supply can be distinguished from stock. It should be very carefully distinguished from stock. Some of the people might mistakenly consider supply as a stock of goods. But there is a slight difference between the two concepts. Stock is actually a total production that the producer has done. For example, a farmer has produced 10 quintals of wheat, and the current market price is, let us say, the current market price is much below than his expectations. So he does not want to sell that wheat at the current market price. He only wants to partly sell some of it. For example, he will sell 3 quintals of wheat at the given market price because he expects the price to go up, and he will sell the wheat at a higher price later on in the market. Or you can take onions, for example. You can take any agricultural commodity. That is because to avoid confusion, because on wheat in many of the states there is minimum support price that is given by the government. So just to avoid that sort of confusion, let us take example of any other agricultural commodity. The point is, if the current market price is low, the farmer will not be willing to supply all of his production into the market. So that is basically supply, because what is the meaning here is that the seller and producer is willing to offer, that is able to offer and willing to offer. Is he able to offer all his output at the given market price? Yes. But is he willing to offer it? No, when the price is low. So therefore, in case of stock and supply, one thing has to be carefully understood is supply is part of stock. That is to say, 3 quintals of wheat that the farmer is willing to supply at the given ruling price is supply out of the total stock of 10 quintals which he has produced. Further, stock is potential supply. The remaining 7 quintals of wheat which he will want to sell at a higher price, he doesn't want to sell it today but will sell it at some later date at a higher price, would expect the price to be higher. That is a potential supply. Stock can exceed supply. Supply can be 3 quintals, stock is 10. But supply cannot exceed stock. Supply cannot, for example, if the farmer has produced 10 quintals of wheat, then he cannot supply 15 quintals of wheat because he simply doesn't have that. If a car manufacturing company is producing 1000 units of 1000 cars, okay, so that is the stock. It can exceed supply. It might supply, let us say, half of it, half of those cars. But the supply cannot exceed stock. It cannot supply 2000 cars when it is producing 1000 cars. Okay, so that is basically stock and supply. Further, there is a particular relationship with supply and price. If the market price is higher, then the supply will be greater. So that is to say, price of a particular commodity in the market and its supply has a positive relationship with one another. This we can discuss in detail in a minute, where I will discuss about the law of supply. Now we'll discuss about the law of supply. As I told you, there is a positive relationship between supply and price, that is to say quantity supplied and price. What is this relationship? We will discuss about it in this lecture. So the law of supply. According to the law of supply, if the price of a particular commodity increases, the quantity supplied of that particular commodity also increases, and vice versa. That means if the price of a particular commodity decreases, the quantity supplied of that particular commodity also decreases. Keep in mind, this is one condition that needs to be followed, that keeping other things constant. Why? Because we are doing partial equilibrium analysis here. That means, according to the law of supply, supply varies directly with change in price. If price of a particular commodity increases, the supply will increase, and the price decreases, the supply will decrease. This can be illustrated with the help of an example. Here on the board I have written a supply schedule. This supply schedule shows the quantity supplied by the producers or the sellers at various levels of prices. Okay, so let us say when the price of a commodity is rupees 10. Okay, suppose there is a pen, okay, or a marker or any commodity. So let us take one example. There is a pen, okay, and the producer has kept the price of the pen at rupees 10. In that case, the quantity supplied is 100. Here I have written on the board the supply schedule. The supply schedule depicts the quantity supplied by the producers or sellers at various given levels of prices. Okay, here you can see that when the price of a particular commodity is 10 rupees, the quantity supplied of that particular commodity in the market is 100. When the price is 20, price of the same commodity increases to rupees 20, the quantity supplied of it will be more, 150. If the price further increases, the quantity supplied further increases to 200. If the price further increases to rupees 500, the quantity supplied further increases to rupees 300. That means there is a direct positive relationship between price and supply. Okay, here you can see this with the illustration of this example with a given supply schedule. Now the question might come to your mind is why does the supply increases with increase in price? This is simply because while considering that the cost of production is constant, if the price increases, the profit margin of the producer increases. So at a higher price, the producer is willing to supply more of a commodity. We just considered the example of a farmer. Okay, so at a higher price, the supplier or the producer would want to supply more of a commodity because his profits will be higher, considering that the costs that he has incurred are constant, are the same. Here I have drawn a supply curve. This is a supply curve. On the x-axis we have quantity supplied, on the y-axis we have price, and this is a graphical representation. So a supply curve is a graphical representation of this supply schedule. What we can see here is that when the price is low, say here, so for example when price is 10, the quantity supplied is 100. Okay, and when price increases to 50, the quantity supplied is 300. So that means at a higher price, higher quantity of that particular commodity is supplied. That is to say, the producer is willing to offer more of a commodity at higher price as compared to that at a lower price. This is law of supply. Now we will look at factors affecting supply. Now we will look at factors affecting supply other than price. That is to say, when we discuss the law of demand, I wrote in the bracket that keeping other things constant. So these things were kept constant. So what are these other things that are kept constant in order for the law to be true? That is, if the price increases and the quantity supplied increases, keeping other things constant. So what are these other things? So these other things are factors affecting supply other than price. So first is input prices. That is, so input prices greatly affect the supply or the quantity supplied at given level, various levels of prices. Input prices is nothing but you can take it as cost of production. The prices of inputs, prices of labor, for example, both skilled labor and unskilled labor, the prices of raw material, the prices of machinery or other equipments. So all these resources that are utilized, land, for example, rent for factory rent, or the factory is built then built by producer himself, then the cost that is required for that. If the land on which the factory is built, let us say, then if the producer buys that land itself, then the price of that land and many other costs that are involved in it, in between, let us say logistics. So all these costs that are costs of resources that are input prices. Okay, the relation is higher the input prices, lower will be the supply, because as the input prices increase, the cost of production will increase, leaving the profit margin, lower profit margin for the producer. So the profit margin will reduce if the cost of production increases. Okay, so therefore higher the input prices, lower will be the supply. Another aspect is number of firms and in the market supplying the product and their installed capacity. Higher the capacity, higher will be the supply. It may happen that, especially in the developing countries, where the demand for a particular product or a commodity is more, but its price is higher because the supply, the demand cannot be met with the supply, basically, because there is no installed or the installed capacity to produce that product and supply that product in the market, offer that product to the consumer in the market is low. It may happen in the underdeveloped countries or developing countries rather. So number of firms in the market and their installed capacity, their capacity to supply, produce the output and supply the output affects supply. Another thing is state of technology. So the production is done, but the way in which the production is done. For example, agriculture output is, in case of agriculture, there is output, but how, what are the practices in agriculture? Are they backward traditional practices? Is agriculture carried out with traditional practices which are backward, or with the use of modern technology? So if once the technology is introduced, This reduces the cost of production greatly, thus increasing the supply. New innovations in various fields lead to that improvement in the productivity of the workers, productivity of the resources deployed, overall resources, not just labor, many other resources also. So the productivity increases as a result of improvement in technology, which leads in reduction in cost and thus increase in profit margins for the producers, and thus the supply increases. So that state of technology is another factor that affects the supply. Further, prices of substitutes and complements. If the prices of substitute goods, if for example there is one commodity and for that a substitute good is available at a much lower price, people will prefer that. Okay, so the demand for that substitute will increase, as a result the supply for that substitute will increase. The same could be said with the complements. For example, if I gave you the example of, during our discussion of demand, I give you the example of whiteboard and whiteboard marker. So here, if a person buys a whiteboard, he has to buy whiteboard marker. So if the supply of whiteboard is increasing in the market, the supply of markers will also increase. So that is the price. That is another factor. That is prices of substitute availability and prices of substitute and complementary goods that affect supply. Further, more important, or the most important aspect or most important factor affecting supply is government policy, because it can change it can change more often than the other factors. Okay, what I mean by government policy is government's revenue policy or expenditure policy. If, for example, government imposes taxes, let us say sales tax or excise duties on production, on the output, then the producers will supply the product at a higher price, because they will try to transfer that tax to the consumer, transfer the incidence of that tax basically on the consumer. Therefore, if the government imposes excise duty or let us say a higher sales tax, the same commodity will be sold in the market at a higher price, or the price might remain unchanged, but the supplier will be willing to supply less of a commodity. That is to say, at a given current price, less of a quantity will be supplied, will be offered by the supplier if the taxes are imposed. On the other hand, if government provides subsidy for producing particular products, then that particular commodity will be sold at the lower price in the market. So the supply price of that particular commodity will be lower if the government is willing to give subsidies on that. So that is the impact of government policy. Another example in the case of government policy could be, let us say government has an expansionary fiscal policy. So government spends a lot of money as a part of government expenditure. As a result of that, the income of the population will increase, the demand will increase, and to meet the demand, if the supply is same and at the same time the demand has increased, what will happen is the prices will go up, and as a result of increase in price, the supply will also go up through the mechanism that I just discussed with you. As price increases, the supply will also increase. So that is basically the impact of the government policy. Further, future expectations regarding prices. Let us say if the prices of a particular commodity are increasing, okay, but the consumer thinks that the same commodity will be even more expensive in the future, so he would want to buy more of it. If he wants to buy more of it, the supply of it will be more. So that is basically future expectation regarding prices on behalf of consumers, let us say. So future expectation regarding prices on behalf of producers, rather, not consumer, producers. If people expect the market price to be higher, or the producers expect that in case of a particular commodity, market price will be higher in the future, they will tend to supply more of a commodity in future. They will hold the stock and would want to supply more in the future. Current stock will be more because they want to supply, they want to increase the supply in the future because they expect the price of the commodity to increase in the near future. Okay, so the future expectations regarding prices. This also affects supply. So these are the factors affecting supply other than price.